And WTLX Monona Madison, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
Madison, Wisconsin is as good as it gets.
It's all about the Badgers.
Go Badgers! Go Badgers!
Games like this is what really separates college football from everything else.
Open up the history books. Here comes Rondé.
That was J.J. Watt, and what a story this young man is.
Gordon again. What a performance by Melvin Gordon.
And the pass rush gets home for the Badgers.
Randall lets it roar.
This is ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay, brewed by Coors Light on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Happy homecoming, everybody. It's Wisconsin and Iowa as we're about to cross the halfway point of the 2025 college football season. The tailgate is rocking here. Decent amount of Iowa jerseys out there. Don't know how I feel about that, but a lot of Cardinal in white, and that's something to be excited about. ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day is presented to you by Coors Light. When you need to refresh on game day, choose a beer that's as cold as the Rockies. Cold filtered, cold lagered, and cold packaged for peak refreshment. When the mountains are blue, you know what to do, and that's crush a Coors Light. 2025 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado, alongside Adam Mertz, alongside the newly returned Brad Nortman with an addition in the family. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you. Yes, there's another Nortman walking, not quite walking, not even crawling, just laying impressive. Around in my arms, yes, around the house. So thank you, baby boy, 5 weeks old today. So I'm not going to lie, we brought him into the world on the Saturday of the Middle Tennessee State game. Ooh. Our doula, if you don't know what a doula is, it's someone who basically assists with the pregnancy. She kept on saying, I think he's going to come before kickoff. Sure enough, 1:27 arrived, and we could bask in the glory of Wisconsin beating Middle Tennessee State. That is, of course, their last win. So Jesse Nelson, our usual host of the show, he basically put it out there. Put that evil on my son, saying that maybe he's a bad omen for Wisconsin because it's been nothing but downhill. You take those words back, Jesse Nelson. You take them back. It's good to be back. It's good to be back. I think I got that off my chest. Thank you.
Advanced analytics, the Badgers are 1-0 when Brad Nortman's on the show.
Hey, there we go. Now we're talking about.
Got Brad Nortman back.
Corey, I knew you liked you.
There we go. We're not going to blame the newest Nortman for what we've unfortunately been exposed to the last 3 or 4 weeks. Riley Yauk is our wonderful producer back at the ESPN Madison Everlight Solar Studios. So let's set the scene. It's the 99th matchup between these two teams. Iowa, we're going to be checking on Gronowski. He's still considered a game-time decision. But Wisconsin is sputtering right now. And, Brad, I want to start with you. Homecoming. Everybody comes out for this. As a former player, what got you up for this game specifically?
Well, first of all, there's homecoming, and then there's Iowa, and then there's Iowa on homecoming, right? So both of those are pouring a little bit of gasoline on the fire, right? Because, usually homecoming takes place like it is today, mid-October, beautiful weather, football weather, and you just feel everything ratcheted up a little bit more. In the city of Madison, there's so many events throughout the week that you can't help but see all throughout the week leading up to the game, and there's just a little bit more of excitement. So not only that, Iowa, not our primary rival, Minnesota's that, of course, but it's a team that's always felt like a mirror image to the Wisconsin Badgers, right? Always a team that felt like they were always similar, neck and neck, whether they were operating in that sort of Tier 2, sometimes teetering and jumping up to Tier 1 in the Big Ten, but always a clash, always physical. So when you put those two together on one day, homecoming and Iowa, normally I would say this would be one of the fun days of the year, right? A wonderful day, an exciting day. However, this Badger team is not giving us a whole lot to be excited about and to get hyped about. However, as I look around Madison, as I look around the tailgate, and I look around here, man, I want to throw in the towel. I do. I want to be like, you know what? We know who this team is. I don't know how they can be able to produce and compete against Iowa, but I fall in love with the city. And I put my Cardinal color glasses on every time. We're going to reveal my pick coming up here, but it's a measuring stick, right? I know it's kind of a term that's generic and maybe overused, but it really is. I mean, I felt like in our best years, we beat Iowa. In the years where we did not end where we want to, we lost to Iowa. And that was really personified last year, right? With a 42-10 loss, a drumming, an absolute beating, a disgusting display of football, and that personified last season and really the tone of the program. So this is, again, even though there's not a lot to be optimistic about, you can still garner a lot from this Iowa-Wisconsin matchup.
Yeah, that game last year has been sticking with this program. We've heard so much discussion about it, that 42 points, doing 42 push-ups at the end of workouts and whatever else it was. The coaching staff has really built this into their heads, which has put a lot of pressure, I think, on this game in terms of where are you at. That last year's game was a tipping point for the season. Everything went downhill after that. Mm-hmm. At that point, you're coming off a couple of pretty tough games against primetime opponents, big, Penn State and Oregon. You gave them a tussle. You're like, okay, we can finish strong here, compete, get to a bowl game, regroup for 2025, and everything went south. And I worry that if the Badgers don't pick this one up tonight, I'm not saying that it snowballs to the same effect in terms of competitiveness, but I worry about where the W's come from if it doesn't come today.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. The schedule's looking harder and harder by the week the rest of the way. And you brought up that 42 push-ups and the emphasis on getting smackdown last year, Mertzy. And I personally don't like that. Yeah. I don't like it. I
thought you cringe.
It makes me cringe. It feels like it's a high school tactic. It doesn't feel like something where you just need to – I get it, you're trying to deliver a message, right? And I feel like this embodies what's going on in the program. A message is trying to be delivered, but it's not being connected with the players, it's not being connected with the fans. Because I don't see a much different product from the 42-10 team last year as I do today. Now, maybe they can change our minds today, but they're going to be in for a tough test. But 42 push-ups, I mean, when we got our butts beat, Coach Bielema would basically say, man up. I mean, you figure out what's inside your gut and go out there and do something about it. But not like this reminder and just all the things. So, I don't know. It's just one of those things where I go back to it and say, like, what are we doing inside this locker room?
Wait, does this come from the same guy who has TEAM on the back of his
Yeah, exactly. It's like, there's so many things that are going on that I just describe as there's just a disconnect right now hovering over this program, right? There's a disconnect between coaching staff and athletic department, I think. Coaching staff and fans, coaching staff and players and culture. There is a disconnect among every area that I think is starting to come unraveled.
Those are all aspects you need to be in lockstep. Brad, it is so great to have you back, and I say that not only because I believe it, but because I believe Mertzy has a gift for you.
Oh, wow.
Not just for you.
Little old me. In this Wisconsin striped bag. Can I open it now?
Absolutely.
Okay,
this
I'm
is
putting
for
my
our
hand in
YouTube
here.
audience.
Putting my hand in here. What could it possibly be? Beautiful bag, by the way. Look at this, a Bucky Badger onesie. How beautiful is this? My son Will is going to be looking good in this. It's nothing. You can't brainwash him too early now.
That's right.
You can put him out there. And, of course, Bucky's behind on the other side. So cute. Perfect. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Man, how about that?
I looked for a 12-month long just for your height, but they didn't have any. So I got the regular 12 months.
He is a long baby. He's a long baby. So he might be able to fit in this. Until then, it'll just be kind of like a cozy little blanket for him. So thank you very much. Like I said, it's never too early to start brainwashing. Might as well start doing it at 5 weeks old.
I was thinking about
you again.
Like truly. The Marinovich, knee and leg mobility workouts maybe pretty early too. Move him around in the crib.
That's right. I mean, not to say that he couldn't excel in other positions, but I'm looking specifically at his feet. My man's got big feet.
Okay.
The feet made to punt a football. So what would that be, 2043? Class of 2043?
I was just about to say, right?
Yeah, class of 2043.
Get the huddle tape going?
Yeah, that's right. Let's start pushing the narrative out there.
Do you work on the drop first? Is that probably the most crucial element of like the timing?
Crucial, yeah. The drop. If you don't get a consistent drop, you can basically just give up punting. Yeah. And it's just seeing that ball hit your foot. So,
there you go.
I mean, he's got the genes. We'll see if he can pull it off. I believe in him, though. He hasn't proven me wrong yet.
There's a lot of hype surrounding the newest Nortman in the household, a lot of hype surrounding homecoming, also against Iowa, fighting for a trophy tonight, the 99th matchup in a rivalry that goes back to the late 1800s. It's also Game 5 today for the NLDS. And
wait, what?
Yeah. And I was worried driving in. My lack of ability to get parking confirmed that there should be no worry, but I was like, how filled is this place going to be, right, Brad? You said there's a disconnect between the players, the culture, the coaching staff, the athletic department. Those are all aspects that need to be working in lockstep. How bought in is this fan base going to be with a 2-3 football team that is sputtering and looking for, and I'll give Riley Out credit for this, he said it on the postgame show last week, their first Power 4 win in 364 days. It's been way too long.
Yeah.
Wow.
And they're showing out, but the question I have to ask you guys is how many people do you think are going to be, if not watching the Brewers game on the side, that's going to start an hour after kickoff, kind of deja vu from last week's game against Michigan, and how many fans do you think are just going to be fully enthralled in NLDS Game 5 and throwing this one out the window?
Well, here in the city of Madison, I mean, with homecoming, I would be surprised if the stadium isn't close to being sold out. In a night game, I think there's going to be some buy-in. I will say the cheers or boos when they throw it on the screen of Cubs versus Brewers will be interesting.
Yeah.
But around the state, I mean, with KBN every week, we kind of we have a pretty large reach.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of juice for this game here in Madison. Huge in Milwaukee, but not a lot of juice here. I personally, back at the Nortman household, do a little bit of dual screen, a little of the YouTube TV dual screen. So that's what I'm going to do. But I just think it's hard because for the longest time, Wisconsin fans always sought out ways to be hopeful, right? Where it's like, oh, if we just do this, if we just do that. You're trying to seek the optimism part of it. Right now, I feel like when you watch Badger games, you're just waiting for that letdown. You're waiting for the inevitable, okay, well, here we go. And I've never felt like that until, the last couple seasons.
I mean, you are so spot on, Brad. And there's a couple of things about tonight's game that you mentioned, Corey, that way. I was like, when you hear cheers and groans or whatnot, is it going to be from the product on the field or people watching on their smartphone?
Yeah,
you're going to hear some people jumping out of their seats if there's a long ball for the Brewers. The other interesting element about this is Iowa has a lot of Cubs fans.
Yeah,
Iowa
that's
Cubs
right.
AAA franchise. There it is, right here, black and gold. Cheers.
Iowa Cubs, good call. Yep.
Absolutely. And so there's a lot of interest. I mean, maybe even Jim Rutledge wearing his traitorous hat into the game day tailgate. But it is this torn appreciation for what's going on the field.
Yeah.
I think you're absolutely right about the other shoe waiting to drop constantly with this team. And last weekend, I thought that they represented as well as they have in some time against a quality opponent.
Yeah.
So that gave me a little bit of hope, and that's usually when the rug gets pulled out.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I think so. We do our game predictions before every week, and it did break my heart a little bit this week to see majority, and I was one of them, majority of our panel selected Iowa to win, and we'll go over that in a bit as well. I think I've reached apathy, guys. I think I've reached the point where I am waiting for this team to give me a reason to make me whip my head around away from the NLDS that's going on and go, this is going to keep my attention for the rest of the game. This is the reason we're back. You mentioned, Brad, this is the barometer in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Can we beat a team that's had the same identity as Wisconsin in recent memory? I don't know if we have the same identity as them anymore. We're at 3.1 yards per carry right now. I mean, you see all the disconnections with the different aspects of this program. My biggest issue with them is we're almost halfway through the season, and I don't know who they are. I'm still trying to figure out who they are.
3 years in.
Yeah,
this is the
3
third
years
year.
Really. Yep. So I think that's a big problem for me is until I figure out, Dylan Jones is really their bruiser. We're going to nail him 65% of the time in the mouth and run it up the middle. Cool. Oh, we're going to spread everything out and use Vinny Anthony. Cool. No, I don't know outside of the run defense, which that stat took a hit against Michigan last week. I don't know who these guys are.
I want to go back a little bit on this point to the Maryland game and some of the trick plays that were called in there that I'm watching it, and there's a couple of thoughts going through my head. One that they ran with Dylan Jones around the edge, the funky one with the lineman out by the hash, actually worked pretty well. But I'm watching it, and I'm like, man, this is not what you're trying to accomplish as a program. I don't care about the 7 yards at that point. I care about, to your point, Corey, what are you trying to establish? What are you trying to get good at?
Yeah.
And these guys with a young offensive line, with young running backs, with inexperienced quarterbacks, I think that you got to skinny down that playbook, work on these 5 to 10 things that you're going to be damn good at.
Yeah.
And keep repeating and repeating and repeating. And every once in a while you want to throw a changeup in there. That's great. But I'm like, you guys are off schedule.
It feels like everyone's guessing, right? It feels like the coaching staff is guessing as to what should we do, what should we be, what should be our game plan, what should be our identity. I still haven't heard it communicated, and I certainly haven't seen it on the field. And Corey, man, you used a great word that I want to revisit: apathy. Yeah. I mean, I think that has been the result of 2.5 years. And listen, I'm using Fickell's start as sort of as a starting point, but apathy might have been creeping in under the late stages of Paul Chryst.
Yeah.
I think that's the worst possible demeanor that a fan base can feel. I feel it right with you.
Yep.
So you're not alone in that. I'd say most of the fan base feels that. But if I'm a head coach and I take a poll, I was like, okay, are you angry? Are you optimistic? Are you happy? And if there was 30 emotions, I think apathy would be the last one that they would want, and that is what has been created in the Wisconsin fan base because you lose interest, you lose NIL, because at least with anger comes fire. With anger comes motivation and action. Apathy means no action, no interest, and it makes it easy decision tonight for a lot of probably fans hearing our voice. Do we watch the Brewers? Do we watch the Badgers? Probably watch the Brewers.
Hey, and let's be fair, too, if we're talking about artistic value, tonight's game is probably not going to be coming in high on the meter.
No, it's not.
For either team. Iowa's grinding it out. Who knows if Gronowski's playing? They'll have a backup quarterback most likely. The running back room's beat up.
Yeah.
This is, and it's Iowa. In terms of having a Phil Parker defense you can rely on and trying to grind out games. And that's the only way the Badgers can win at this point. So this is not going to be one of those wild moments. Like if there's 2 or 3 plays like that in the game tonight, Corey, I'd be like, okay, that's more than I would have expected.
Well, then the last thing with Iowa, Wisconsin, I just want to make sure I get across is I think whenever we played Iowa, there was still a little bit of not intimidation that we would have for Iowa, but there was okay, I got to stagger my stance a little bit because I know I'm going to get hit.
Yeah.
I know it's going to be physical.
Yes.
I felt like that was Wisconsin for decades, and now I don't feel like they were feared at all. I think that I feel like anybody thinks they can come in, they can just manhandle us, and we're like the new Indiana, we're the new Maryland, we're the new whoever you want to throw in there, that there's really no level of fear or intimidation, not of maybe speed, but you're going to come away bruised. I still feel like that about Iowa. I think you're going to come away bruised.
Yes.
I don't think anyone walks into this game with a little bit of okay, I know I got to have my wits about me because I'm going to walk out bruised. I don't think anyone feels like that anymore.
Yeah, I think I'm right there with you. I heard it in the Jump Round Extra, which was airing just again before this show, that Michigan kind of woke up after the opening drive. Oh, we didn't expect that. Why are teams not awake from the get-go against Wisconsin? It's because of what we've seen in the last 2 years and some change. Big chance to turn it around today, though. And, folks, have you been waiting to buy your next home? Well, stop. Now is the time to get housed, as they say over there at Bruner Realty. For over 30 years, Bruner Realty has been providing excellent real estate and property management services in the Madison area. Contact their team at BrunerRealtyInc.com to get started today. That's BrunerRealtyInc.com. When we come back, this is what we do on the pregame show for the ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay program. We do our game predictions right away, and then we break down and justify why we said what we said afterwards. That's coming up next. This is the ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay show. Game predictions between Wisconsin and Iowa are coming up next.
The countdown to kickoff continues next. You're listening to ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay.
'Tis the season to be planning your holiday events. Whether it's a party for 10 or 10,000, Celebrations has the sound, video, lighting, special effects, and custom-themed decor to make it the best party ever. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With us on your team, your Halloween, holiday, or New Year's party will be easy to plan and super fun to attend. DJs, casino games, lighting, and photo booths are just the beginning at CelebrationsEntertainment.com. That's CelebrationsEntertainment.com.
It's frightening, but the rewards are thrilling if you're brave enough to enter the prize-filled graveyard at Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison. On Saturday, October 25th, 3 brave souls will enter the graveyard every half hour from 1 p.m. till 5. These 27 winners will each have a chance of escaping with $3,000 in cash. That's up to $81,000 in total prizes. So be here for Graveyard Grabs, the scariest game in town. Grab your friends. Get to Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison.
In the next 30 seconds, I'm going to tell you how to save money and save the planet. It's simple. Ditch your energy bill and make the switch over to Everlight Solar. While electricity prices keep rising, Everlight Solar will give you the chance to take ownership of your power while also reducing your carbon footprint. As a local company based out of Madison, they'll be there with you every step of the way as you make the switch to solar. To learn more about how you can save money and save the planet, go to everlightsolar.com.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Your family's safety is your responsibility, and it starts with a solid roof. When the next storm rips through and takes some of your shingles with it, call Badgerland Exteriors. Or looking to replace your whole roof but don't want to break the bank? Let the team at Badgerland Exteriors give you a free, no obligations estimate.
AJ with Badgerland Exteriors here. Contracting made easy is more than a tagline. It's how we run our family business. Visit BadgerlandExteriors.com to get started on your next project. That's BadgerlandExteriors.com.
Looking to join an international quality golf club right here in Madison? For a limited time at TPC Wisconsin, enjoy full golf privileges and all club amenities without full dues. Pay just $150 per month through March to maintain your full golf membership with no golf dues until April 1st. Don't miss out on this limited time offer. Schedule a tour or submit a membership inquiry at tpcwisconsin.com and start enjoying the private golf club experience you deserve. That's tpcwisconsin.com.
Brian here from Canopy Wealth Management. At Canopy, we create strategies that are tailored to your needs and goals. We've invested heavily in client-friendly software so your assets and plan progress are available to view in one place at any time. Whether you prefer only the high-level information or enjoy the intricate details of the planning process, we've got you covered. Canopy Wealth Management. Care, competence, clarity. It's not just a tagline, it's a promise. Go to canopy-wealth.com to get started today. That's canopy-wealth.com.
Liberty Station American Tavern and Smokehouse isn't just a barbecue restaurant. Open daily for lunch and dinner, Liberty Station serves American comfort food with regional touches using many locally sourced ingredients. The bar at Liberty Station offers vintage cocktails created in a classic style, local craft beers, plus a wide array of wine options. And be sure to check out their sprawling patio with an indoor and outdoor porch area. Liberty Station, conveniently located just off the Beltline on Rimrock Road.
To help those who want to be helped, but may not be able to afford it.
That's what PGA Tour winner Grayson Murray had envisioned for a foundation before he sadly took his own life at just 30 years old. His parents channeled their grief into creating the Grayson Murray Foundation, carrying out his vision to help those struggling with mental health and addiction. To donate and learn more, visit GraysonMurrayFoundation.com.
Milwaukee, it's officially time for October baseball. The energy is electric, the city is buzzing, and there's no better way to celebrate than with Carbless. Carbless is the ready-to-drink cocktail that keeps fans cheering. No sugar, full of flavor, and always refreshingly delicious. Whether you're tailgating outside the stadium, celebrating downtown, or gathering with friends at home, Carbless is your go-to for every big hit, every clutch play, and every Brewers moment. So crack open a Carbless, raise it high, and toast to October baseball in Milwaukee, because nothing goes better with a big stage in baseball than finding your bliss. Visit drinkcarbless.com and see where Carbless is located nearest to you.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app. Customizable just to you. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or
The Jump Around podcast and Jim, Matt, and Molly weekdays from 4 to 6 p.m. on ESPN Madison. It's going to be time for our game predictions, but first, Canopy Wealth Management carries a long-standing tradition of working in the best interest of their clients every single day. The team at Canopy emphasizes building local relationships and believes that values matter and strengthen their communities. At Canopy, it's the 3 C's: care, competence, and clarity. Not just a tagline, but a promise. Go to canopy-wealth.com to get started today. Before we get to the game predictions, Jim, you are a Badgers fan. You're also a Cubs fan. So you're rooting in a different direction, maybe the same direction as some Iowa fans out there. Did you chalk it up with any Iowa Hawkeye hat and PCA jersey wearers today?
I am getting a lot of love from the Iowa fans. Yeah. I am well aware that Iowa has a connection to Chicago for the Cubs there, but I don't carry the same. Like, they're much more on edge than I am.
Sure.
Well, one, I want the Badgers to win, but Iowa's got something to play for. The Badgers are just playing for pride. But then the Chicago, for the Brewers and the Cubs thing, like I've said this before, I don't hate the Brewers like the way the Brewer fans hate the Cubs. So if the Brewers win this, good on them. I hope they go win the World Series. But obviously I do want the Cubs to win. But I'm not living or dying with this game.
Yeah.
I actually saw an interesting poll down out of someone in Chicago. They asked the question, would you be more interested in the Bears beating the Commanders or the Cubs beating the Brewers? Bears beating the Commanders won 53%.
Wow.
Really? 47. There was about 10,000 votes in there.
Just a game. Just a random.
Is it because of the Tyreek Stevenson thing?
I think it's the Hail Mary thing.
Yeah.
I think it's in the middle of football season.
Yeah.
And, again, the Brewers have a better chance to win the World Series than the Cubs.
Yep.
The Cubs are completely out of gas, and the Brewers are running out of gas. But, I don't think any Cubs fans looking at this team saying, if we lose this, we lose our chance for the World Series.
Yeah.
But I think the Brewers truly have a team. Woodruff's injury hurt, but, they have a team that could get there because they played better all year. They won 97 games. The Cubs sputtered in the second half and won 92 and they just kind of sputtered into the playoffs. So winning the one series was already kind of all right, well, here we are. They're not a World Series team.
Yeah. I kind of want to take the temperature with you, Brad, and you, Adam, and just are you going to have the double box going? What's the viewing experience going to be like later tonight? Badgers homecoming game against Iowa, NLDS Game 5 winner take all at AmFam.
Yeah, you nailed it. Double box for me. I couldn't possibly have the Wisconsin Badgers on and not having on my TV. I mean, there's no doubt that the implications of the Cubs-Brewers game is significantly bigger, but my primary loyalty, my primary love is the Wisconsin Badger football team. So they will be on. Brewers will be on. Sound will probably be on the Brewers-Cubs.
Sure.
I will have the Badger game on, though. But yeah, I mean, you said it well. I think that when it comes to Cubs-Brewers or Badgers and Iowa today, I think a lot of fans will be tuning into the Brewers, but I'm curious what you think, Mertz.
Yeah, I mean, just speaking personally, these two sports have become by far my top favorites. College football specifically, and I've always been a baseball fan. I was lucky to have so many experiences covering both while in the media. I got to vote for the Baseball Hall of Fame for 10 years.
Whoa!
Huge honor. Just
what a nugget.
Huge honor.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah,
really?
Just toss that in there.
It was amazing. And I fell into the retired class, so they easy out. You used to be able to do it until you're dead.
Who am I on the stage with right now, Mertz? That's awesome.
Right. So I'm obsessed with baseball and the history of it and the progression. I was a huge Brewers fan in '82. That's going to be my primary focus tonight. But I'm with you, Brad. When the Badgers are playing, I don't care. I can't avert my eyes, no matter how bad it is.
Yeah.
I'm almost drawn to it like a car crash sometimes. So I'm gonna see your two screens. I'm gonna go 3 because I'll be watching Georgia, Alabama also.
Good choice.
So I'm sure you guys talked about this, but this game for the Badgers, and I know every loss is going to be worse, but this is the one they had circled all year.
Yes.
With their extra push-ups and their extra running, and I mean this game has the potential to be a backbreaker if they lose. And I know Maryland was gross, but this one, you put everything into it, and you're not going to be able to sell any chance of a bowl because you got Ohio State and Oregon, and and also this was it. It was we got embarrassed by Iowa. This is it. Trophy. I worry about the psyche of this team if this game is lost.
Well, and I that's a great point, Jim. And I think that if people that are still holding out hope for Coach Fickell to maybe turn things around, I think this is a marquee moment because there was no greater embarrassment than last year. So a direct comparison would be, has there been any room for improvement? Are we seeing to turn a page of any sort? If you lose, particularly if you lose ugly, you might be just saying it's just rinse and repeat year after year. So how can I bring in hope to future seasons if you got embarrassed last year and you can't even rise to the occasion for this game?
And this, I believe that this is another big recruiting weekend. You've got a lot of guys in. You got to represent well. To your point about what are you selling? What kind of hope are you selling if you can't pull this one off tonight? I know that you can play that game about, hey, we could use you. We can get you right on the field.
Yeah.
You can be an impact player. That only sells for so long, especially when you're on the backside of a slide that has occurred here under Luke Fickell. So I absolutely agree. This is a massive game for the future of Luke Fickell and where the program's at.
And one more quick point, as we've been watching the Badgers for years now, right? So we're used to the old Big Ten. when the Badgers play Oregon and they lose, when they play Maryland and lose, it's like I don't know exactly how to feel because these are all new teams, new opponents. But a team like Iowa, you play them year after year after year. There's a more visceral pain when you lose to a team that you see year after year after year, and the measuring stick is easier to do because you can look back decades and be like, well, in good years we're beating Iowa, in bad years we're losing, so we're clearly in a good or bad year based on that delineation.
We had this poll question on the Jump Around, our Badger Dedicated podcast, and ESPN Milwaukee and ESPN Madison's YouTube streams Thursdays at 12:30. Is it a bigger blemish for Fickell? And I think, Brad, you answered this, that he does not have a victory over a top 25 team, or they're 2-4 in the rivalry games.
There's a lot of weight.
I'm the rivalry guy. I'm the rivalry guy because I think that there was a lot of talk last year about the signature wins. Obviously, those are nice. It's great eye candy. You could tell that this team, that's what they were focused on because they showed up for those games. But I think that your success is dictated by how you're doing against those mid-level opponents that you have that history with.
Yeah, I mean, even during their heyday, the Badgers, especially if they weren't rivalry games, playing teams in the top 25, you'd win more than you lost, but it wasn't like the Badgers were 8-0. It'd be like, all right, they're 5-4 against teams in the top 10. It's like, of course, because they're really good teams, but you came out ahead at least once in a while. And in this case, if you're 0-8, fine, that's less of a problem because you got to fill up the trophy case because you're not walking by. Brad, you talked about this on the jump around. You're not walking by an empty room that says 0-8 against top 25. You are walking by literally an empty trophy case.
Yeah, and to make it like an analogy, right? I mean, we are talking about colleges, right? So if you're a student who's applying to colleges, you got your reach schools, you got your schools you think you're going to get into, and you got your safety schools. Your reach schools are beating top teams, right? Like you just hope to apply. Maybe, just maybe you get into one. You got your schools you think you want to go to, right? Those are your rivalries. You got your safety schools that you think no matter what I'm going to get into. The problem is not only are the Badgers not getting into the reach schools, they're not getting into the schools they think they want to get into and have the capability to. Now they're starting to get rejected by the safety schools. So that's the problem. So give me the schools that I want to go to every single time.
That's a really good
The reach ones, you never expect to get into those. Yeah. But, man, when you're not getting into the likely and the safe schools, now you got to go revisit the GPA and the ACT and whatever else. So it's
can you pay off the admissions counselor?
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Yeah. Retake the ACT over and over again.
Yeah, the NIL would suggest that you can just start paying people.
So this one holds a lot of weight, right? This game against Iowa holds a ton of weight. It is now time for us to get to those official game predictions on ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay.
Will we be jumping around?
Big win for Luke Fickell and Wisconsin.
Or will it be heartbreak for the Badgers?
Feel bad for the Badgers. They gave it their all. One too many mistakes.
It's time to make our picks on ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay.
Okay, little context here. Iowa quarterback Mark Gronowski is a game-time decision. Kirk Ferentz is hopeful he'll start. Backup options are as follows. Hank Brown, a redshirt sophomore. Jeremy Heklinski, a redshirt freshman. Brown has appeared in 3 games for the Hawkeyes, 11-21 for $107, and 1 touchdown and 1 interception. Heklinski, Wake Forest transfer, has not seen the field yet for the Hawkeyes. The all-time series is 49-47-2. Couple of ties in there. Wisconsin does have the advantage. This is the 99th meeting all time. Let's go around the table here. Brad, we'll start with you. What do you think is going to go down in about an hour and a half here?
I think Wisconsin will lose today. It brings me no pleasure to say that. I think it's going to be 20-10 Hawkeyes. That is the under for an already low over-under.
Yeah.
I just don't think this Wisconsin team is built to keep up with a stout defensive front in Iowa, and I think that's going to cause problems for the run game and protecting the quarterback. I'm not very scared by this Iowa offense by any means, but they've played it tight. I think if the Badgers do win, it's going to be a defensive struggle.
Yeah.
However, I think the offense against this Iowa defense will be so lopsided. I foresee like a couple defensive turnovers for some short fields. So I don't think it's going to be an offensive showcase, but I think that Iowa's going to get the win 20-10.
I am also in the Iowa camp on this one, and for a lot of the reasons that Brad mentioned. I also just need to be proven by this Badgers team that they know how to win, a game at this point. The word on the street here, as I see the injury report, is that Gronowski's not listed at all.
Okay.
He's not listed on the injury report.
Very interesting.
So you'd assume he'll be out there at least giving it a shot to start off with. But let me tell you what, I looked back at the last 3 years of Iowa quarterbacking in this series. These are the Dynamos who have defeated the Badgers.
Oh, boy.
Brendan Sullivan.
Yes.
Our very own Deacon Hill.
Yeah.
And Spencer Petras. Their stats, They're stats.
Well, I think one of those actually should have said Torrey Taylor.
There you go.
Yeah. No, seriously, he was the game MVP. But their combined stats.
Field flipper.
Those 3 games. 27 of 47 for 224 yards and 1 touchdown. The quarterback doesn't really matter for Iowa in this series. What they have in that backfield, I know they're a little bit dinged up. They're without a star linebacker today. I still just see this as a slogfest that the Badgers are not going to be able to get over the hump. I've got Iowa winning 13-10.
All right, Jim.
I have Iowa winning 20-13. And honestly, the biggest differential in this, and I hate to say it, is I just think they're a better coached team.
Yeah.
In all phases. I mean, you look at that Maryland game, it was special teams that flipped the whole script for them. And then there's players running wide open at home, and they tighten it up against Michigan. But I think these two teams are equal, and I'm sorry, one game where you didn't have a handful of massive errors doesn't mean it's all fixed. And so I just think that in a game that Brad talked about, these teams are very equally matched. It's not dynamic. I just think Iowa, from their head coach all the way through their special teams coach, is just better coached, more disciplined, and I think that's going to win this game, unfortunately.
They know who they are. They're a hard-nosed football team, and unfortunately we were 0 for 4 so far because I'm going 21-13 Iowa. Big stats guy here, and I looked back at the last 3 games that Wisconsin's lost to Iowa, 42-10, 15-6, 24-10. Wisconsin has scored 26 points over the course of those last 3 matchups. Iowa scored more than that in the last matchup against Wisconsin. With a third-string quarterback, I think Hunter Simmons did fine. He wasn't otherworldly. He wasn't horrible. He didn't do, I guess, so much to lose the game. He had a late pick, but in my opinion, the game was out of hand at that point. You have a hard time convincing me that you're going to buck that trend where you're averaging 8-9 points a game against this still very stout defense with your third stringer back there.
Yeah, your starting running back is averaging 4 yards per carry, which is abysmal for college. It's not even that great in the NFL anymore. He had 3.7 against Michigan. And whatever you were able to kind of surprise Michigan with Hunter Simmons, I don't see it happening. And I don't mean to be mean to Hunter Simmons, but this is all desperation. This was not the plan.
It is.
I mean, you had – and I want to go back to this just since I'm here for a second. If Fickell and Kelly Stauffer, former college football player, called the game last week, pointed out that he thought it was desperate and irresponsible of Luke Fickell to play Billy Edwards against Maryland. But because your job is to protect the quarterback and protect your players. And a quarterback wants to go out there and play. But Billy Edwards, he even pointed out that not only Billy Edwards go out there and play hurt, that he injured himself, talked his way back onto the field because he was pointing out that when Billy Edwards is out there, he's not planting with his left leg to put power into the throw. So you had your quarterback out there. But all that aside, Billy Edwards is probably starting today and maybe against Michigan if you didn't rush him out against Maryland.
That's a good point.
Did some more damage. All right, Riley, we need some optimism, sir.
Yeah, well, if we're being honest, did I pick the Badgers to win today? Yes. Is it based on anything substantial? No.
Okay. Honesty is a core value, sir.
I love it. If the Badgers aren't able to muster enough juice to beat Iowa, who is a not very good Iowa team, I think 2-10 is the most likely record for this Wisconsin football team. And I just can't imagine a world where that happens, so they need to win today. 21-10, Badgers are going to somehow find a way to score 3 touchdowns. I don't think they'll struggle to hold Iowa to 10. It's just finding more than 10 points to score on the offensive side of the football. So we're going off hope today. But if they don't win, I can't pick the Badgers in good faith the rest of the season. So this is it.
So this is Riley's tipping point. I mean, we've seen him every single week until recent after the Maryland loss when going into Michigan. That was the first time that Riley notably picked the Badgers to lose a football game since he started here at ESPN Madison. So,
and I nailed the prediction, by the way, 24-10.
You did. That was
score.
Crazy. And I will say, if they do lose, and Riley, you do stay true to your word that you potentially don't pick them the rest of the year, if Riley Yauk is off the bandwagon, that bandwagon is empty.
Yeah.
It is empty.
The wheels have fallen off.
I got a small one just because we have Jim here, and I want to put you on the spot on this one.
Okay.
About coaching.
Okay.
I always love that Bum Phillips line about a coach where he can take his'n and beat urine or take urine and beat his'n. Basically, you put him on whichever sideline, and he's going to win the game.
Yep.
Does Kirk Ferentz and Phil Parker on the Badger sideline today give you more confidence than Luke Fickell and Tressel and the whole gang?
Yeah. Unfortunately, with this Fickell regime, it feels like they've spent so much time trying to recruit and gather players to beat Oregon and beat USC. They forgot about beating Iowa. and they forgot about the brand and the core of this team. And this looks like the team that, Tarek Saul and Derek Engler, who I used to host with all the time, were afraid of. You're chasing stars. You're not figuring out who these kids are. You're just trying to – some recruiting service said that they're good, and so you're bringing them in here. You don't have this base of personality, this base of brand that Iowa has. And I'm still – and Brad and I talked about this. Luke Fickell was the right hire. I don't know what happened that Luke came in here because he built Cincinnati up.
Yep.
He saw what Ohio State is. I don't know what happened here. But what I do see is that this program – if Jim Leonard had come in, they probably look like Iowa. And we don't want to be Iowa right now, but it's still slightly better. So I'm not saying, they should have hired Jim Leonard, because I don't think we'd be dancing up and down if we didn't know this alternate universe of being this bad. If we had Jim Leonard in here and we're winning 6 games. Yeah. I don't think we're all thrilled, but we're not going to be calling for Jim's head because he's a former Badger.
Yeah.
But we're not going to be feeling great about it. We're going to feel like Iowa, which is what we didn't want to be. Yeah. So Mac took this swing, and he got the guy that Notre Dame wanted, everyone wanted, and I don't know if it was the Longo hire. I don't know if it was bad ideas for recruiting. Obviously, this team had a dearth of talent. They didn't know how to recruit for the NIL. They removed their social media team under Paul Chryst in recruiting. They had the smallest recruiting staff.
Yes.
So, Luke had a lot of heavy lifting to do, and if he's not here, he still laid the groundwork for what will turn. But at this point, Gary Anderson had a more effective regime here because Gary Anderson brought in Dave Aranda, who brought this 3-4. So setting aside even wins, but I believe that he's, in 2 years, won more than Fickell had? I mean, it's got to be pretty close. But he brought the 3-4 here. He brought Dave Aranda's defense here, and this 3-4 defense the Badgers ran forever. I know it's not what they run now, but it still kind of changed what they did and changed the program for a while.
Hey, and Gary Anderson had them in one Big Ten championship team, and they were competing for one on the last day of the regular season in his other season. So, you can say a lot of things about it, about how the program was handled, but it wasn't the on-field product that suffered.
No.
100% agree. Well, it was, and I do like what you said, Jim. That was the big ticket hire at the time. I don't think anybody 5, 6, 7 months removed is going, I think we made a mistake. It's the body of work over the course of 2+ years that we're now going, what on earth happened?
I will say really quickly, I mean, when that hire happened, I was applauding it.
Same.
If you would have said, okay, I'm going to transport you to October 10th, 2025, and this is what happened, I would have been in disbelief. I would have said, nope, not possible. Not possible that this is what the program looks like. So it was the right hire. That's where I just said, so there's some disconnect. I don't know what it is, but there's a disconnect, and it'll put a ton of pressure on Mac to decide what to do this offseason, who else you're going to hire, who's going to fix this. There's no easy answers.
Yeah, and on a year-by-year basis, nothing holds more weight than the game against Iowa. It has to be on homecoming this year, and the game against Minnesota, fighting for Paul Bunyan's axe. We're a little far away from that, so we'll focus on today's game. We want to give a shout-out to our friends at Celebrations Entertainment. With Celebrations Entertainment, planning events has never been easier. They have complete event services for weddings, corporate events, nonprofit events, outdoor movies, casino nights, and so much more fun. Visit celebrationsentertainment.com to get started today. Celebrations Entertainment. Fun, memorable events. We got Coach Brad back.
In the industry. That's business technology managed. Visit gflesh.com to learn more.
Played like a pro but felt like an amateur? Twisted your ankle or jammed a finger under the Friday night lights? At Orthopedic and Spine Centers of Wisconsin, their Saturday Sports Injury Clinic has you covered. Skip the emergency room circus, dodge the waiting room sitcom, and get expert care from the pros who actually know sports injuries. Saturdays, 9 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Walk into their location off the Beltline and get back in the game. Orthopedic and Spine Centers of Wisconsin, your comeback starts here.
You hear that? That's the sound of Pepsi Zero Sugar, the better tasting, more refreshing Zero Sugar Cola. Listen to that endless pour. Pure refreshment. If it sounds this good, just imagine how it tastes. Oh yeah, so good. Pepsi Zero Sugar. Let your taste decide.
Wisconsin icon.
It's all about the Badgers.
The Don of the Wisconsin Badgers.
We did it better than everybody for 20-some years.
Joined by two of his football legends.
I like all of them, except for quarterback. I like defensive ends. Hey, I really like defensive ends.
Someone didn't like kickers at one point.
The Barry Alvarez Show with Barry Alvarez, Tarek Saleh, Derek Engler, and Jesse Nelson. Live from Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton every Monday night. Right here on 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Get ready to unleash the dragon at Hard Rock Casino Rockford. Introducing the region's very first $1 million Dragon Link slot games. With jackpots soaring to $1 million, your chance to hit it big is here. Come experience the ultimate gaming adventure. Visit Hard Rock Casino Rockford today and play the $1 million Dragon Link slot games. Your legendary win awaits. Hard Rock Casino Rockford. Let's hard rock. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text ILGAMB to 833-234.
You're only minutes away from a better buying experience at Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb. Jim Rutledge here. What is a better buying experience? Well, that's the thing. You get to define it. It is the experience that is customized to you. What experience do you want at a car dealership? They can be your trusted friend or your trusted expert. So if you're in the market for a new or new to you Silverado, Colorado, Blazer, Trailblazer, remember, you're only minutes away from a better buying experience. And that's at Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb.
Ready for the snap, and a timeout taken. The team looks a little bit lost. Let's bring in Gina Della from Pella. What's the winning game plan this month?
Wayne, the winning play is simple. A whole house of new windows as low as $297 a month with 0% interest for up to 60 months.
Wow, that's a drive you can sustain for years. No penalties, no interest. A championship move from Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
No doubt, Wayne. And unlike the opponent's defense, Pella Windows actually stopped the drafts.
The draft picks we gave up for number one had to be the steal of the century.
True, but I'm talking about replacing old drafty windows.
Roger that. With energy-efficient windows that keep the cold out, you'll stay as toasty as a fan at a warm weather preseason game.
Pay as low as $297 a month for a whole house of new Pella windows.
Plus, with 0% interest for up to 60 months, don't sit on the sidelines, folks. Make your move today.
Schedule your free consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Service restrictions apply. 10/31/2025.
Hi, it's Jason Wilde from Wilde & Tausch, inviting you to join me July 5th on a journey through the lovely landscapes of England, Scotland, and Wales with Colette. We'll take in the charm of the countryside and the history of the great cities. Imagine standing before Big Ben in London, then later gazing out from Edinburgh Castle. So rich in history, it feels like you're stepping back in time. Along the way, we'll explore the storybook villages of Chester and Shakespeare's Stratford-upon-Avon, places where every street seems to whisper a piece of history. And how about a scenic train ride through the rolling green hills that lead us right into the medieval city of York? It's all part of this incredible journey. From iconic landmarks to cozy villages, from bustling city streets to peaceful countryside views, you'll experience the very best of Britain's history, culture, and beauty, and create memories that last a lifetime. To learn more about this amazing adventure, text TRAVEL to 844-770-3776 or visit ESPNMilwaukeeTravel.com for full details.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app. Customizable just to you. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today.
College GameDay, the pregame show leading up to the 99th ever meeting between your Wisconsin Badgers and the visiting Iowa Hawkeyes, who brought, I guess, and timely so in that, a flurry of Cubs fans with the AAA connection to the Iowa Cubs. You're seeing Jim's a unique combination, by the way. Thank you to Jim Rutledge for joining us. He's got the Cubs hat on, but he also has the Badgers apparel below the neck. I think he's the only one like that I've seen today.
I've never seen it in my life.
Yeah.
Never seen Badgers plus Cubs in my life. Plenty of times of mixing the Wisconsin sports, but mixing the Chicago and Wisconsin sports, it's like mixing oil and water. It's just a very strange combination.
Brad, you want to hear a secret? I'm not wearing the apparel, but you're looking at another one, too.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, wow.
I'm being very, very quiet about that today.
So hand in the air. You're allegiant to what teams? Cubs?
Yep. Cubs, Bulls, Bears.
Oh, the whole
Badgers.
Wow.
So I have some Badgers sick. Weird, right? But it's one of those things, too, where, like Jim said, I don't know if that rivalry, Cubs-Brewers, they've been, we had game 163. They've been good at the same time. And I look over to basketball. It's like Bucks-Bulls. I feel like there's not a whole lot there.
Yeah.
There was the Grayson Allen play where Caruso broke his wrist. I guess that flared up some not-so-nice emotions. But, I don't know.
Yeah.
Bears-Packers, I really have to be quiet around here.
Yeah,
but,
I understand that.
We do have Coach Brad back. Brad Nortman is back from his well-deserved hiatus, and it is time to hear what he has to say about Wisconsin, Iowa, and how the Badgers can win back the Heartland. Brad, it's been a while. 3 straight losses. What do you need to see from this team that, frankly, is just trying to figure out who they are right now and scrounge together some wins before the end of 2025 to get it done against Iowa today?
Well, gather around, men. Gather around. Take a knee. Let's think about how we're going to do this. So we're going to start with, the technical sides, and then we're going to end with a little bit of heart, a little bit of a gut check. When I look at this Iowa team, when I look at who we are as with the Wisconsin Badgers, let's start with the Badgers defense in Iowa on offense. Look, they're never going to blow the doors off of us unless they did like last year, but you're dealing with one of the best offensive lines in college football in the Iowa Hawkeyes. But that's where the fear ends. Quarterback, not concerned about. He's a decent quarterback at best, but then when you talk about that, he's not a very skilled quarterback at that. Still trying to find out who they are at running back and the perimeter positions. So to me, it's all about stopping the run and getting pressure on the quarterback. You do that, you're going to have no problems being able to keep this a low-scoring game and keeping yourself in the middle of it. The problem is that's going to be very hard. So you got to bring your gut check to it. This is why we went out and we recruited big bodies in the transfer portal. We want to stiffen up front, and I'll be honest, generally speaking, the Wisconsin defense has not been a complete and utter disappointment. Let's keep it low-scoring game. Let's keep it dirty. Let's keep it muddy. How about Wisconsin offense? I'm looking at you, offense. This is the area that is most frustration, right? Yep. And you are in for it this week. Front seven of the Iowa Hawkeyes, stingy, staunch defense. It's going to be hard to move the ground against them. Offensive line, I'm looking at you. Let's restore who we were as Wisconsin Badgers. It's always been offensive line when it comes to the Wisconsin Badgers. So the test is given to you today. You want to call yourself, you want to earn that W as an offensive lineman for the Wisconsin Badgers, then this is the test you look forward to. Because if you can kind of run the ball, and most importantly, if you can protect your quarterback in Simmons, I think that you can actually get some big plays. The perimeter of the Iowa defense, not that great. They give up big plays. So you got to grind it out, but then you got to take your shots when they're there. But that all starts with the middle. Starts with protecting and establishing the run. Of course, we need to win the turnover game, and of course, we got to win on special teams, which I don't have a whole lot of confidence we can. Iowa punter, also very good, basically the shadow of Torrey Taylor. Yep. But this is what it comes down to, boys. I could talk scheme all day, and so I just did. Right? I mean, you have to basically shoulder their toughness. You got to respond to that. But I need to see something out of this team that I haven't seen before. So, have you guys ever seen the movie Goodfellas? Have you guys ever seen Goodfellas? Okay, so it's an old movie, Corey. I don't know if that's before your time. There's a scene in Goodfellas where I'm not going to describe exactly what happened, but the main character in Goodfellas, his wife was basically something happened that he felt like he needed to send a message. So when he heard about it, he took his weapon, he crossed the street. The guy who he needed to send a message to, he basically said, "Hey, what's up?" And it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Don't you ever do this again. Message sent, cross the street again. That is what I need to see out of the Wisconsin Badgers. I need to see a message sent. I need to see that, listen, that where everyone's wondering, is this Wisconsin Badger team tough? Can they keep up with the physicality of Iowa? Who are they? This is your opportunity to do so. You were embarrassed. Your wife was taken offense to last year. That is about equivalent as I can take it in Goodfellas, about as far as I can take it on the airwaves. That's what happened to you last year in Iowa City. You were embarrassed. It was disgusting. You had everything about that was a black eye, not only for that season, but kind of for the whole Fickle regime. If this can't get you to cross the street, deliver some punches, and send a message, then everybody will think they can punk you. And everyone thinks they can punk Wisconsin right now. So, men, listen up. I did not bring my son into the world so they could watch the Cardinal and White get embarrassed like they did last year. Let's give me and my son something to root for. I believe in you. Now let's go out there and get them, boys.
Yeah, Coach Brad.
I love it. Strap it up and go out there and get them.
So, I think it's interesting, right? Wisconsin lost. They got Caleb Johnson last year, essentially. 42-10 against this Iowa team. We'd all agree that was the worst loss of the year. There were some heartbreakers against Penn State, against Oregon. You talked about those reach schools trying to go up and pull off a stunner. But against your peer, against Iowa, they got absolutely blown out. No one, even though I feel like we all feel as if Wisconsin's going in the wrong direction right now, nobody on our panel predicted that they would lose even close to that anymore. A couple 2-score games in there. And it's because of what you just said at the beginning there, Brad. This team is more physical. That's the one thing they have going for them. They didn't recruit guys on defense that are going to go sideline to sideline that put their hand in the ground. They recruited guys who are going to run through your face. And they have. They've held up on the line, and they've prevented other teams from running all over them. And I think that does keep this close, and it's a good combination against an Iowa team that hasn't had noteworthy quarterback play and probably won't again today that can just throw all over them.
And real quick, I mean, joking aside, how do you beat a physical opponent? If you're Oregon, you can beat them with speed. You can try to beat them with speed. Wisconsin isn't Oregon. So unless you are a truly fast team that you have a true edge, you beat physicality by matching physicality. You match it. You stand up to it. You don't cower to it. You don't get cute because we had some very physical teams that I was a part of as the Wisconsin Badgers. Yeah. The teams that started to get cute were like, oh my gosh, we got this. We got it. It's only a matter of time.
It's over.
The teams that met our physicality were the teams that the guys would take their helmet off on the sideline and said, those boys came to play today. I'm surprised. Those boys came to play. You beat physicality by matching the physicality. You hit them harder than they expect them to be hit. And I think that's the expectation. I think Iowa thinks they can come in here and steamroll. You stop a steamroll by hitting it square in the face. And if the Badgers don't do this today, it's going to be another long day for them.
Yeah, and you're taking me back to your comment about the 42 points. Like, Iowa's been paying attention to this, to the obsession in the Wisconsin locker room, and there were some comments this week by them just almost kind of chuckling about it. Like, oh, we're already living rent-free in their head. We usually have to pay for that, and now we're just there. And so it's going to be on their minds, and Iowa's going to come out to play. They always come out to play. That's one thing you can count on with that team. Mm-hmm. Like, not the most skilled all the time. They're going to wind up on the wrong side of the scoreboard against a really talented opponent, but they're going to be there.
Yeah.
They're going to be there, and they're not going to beat themselves.
That's the other thing. This team does not beat themselves. This Indiana team that's going to Eugene, Oregon, and is winning, last time I checked at halftime, there was a one-score game with Iowa and Indiana. So this team does not get punked, and you're always going to have a very tough go of it when it goes with Iowa. So they're not going to beat themselves. They stay disciplined. It makes it very hard to beat. It keeps them very consistent. They might not be able to beat the Ohio States of the world, but they can beat most other teams.
Coach Brad, we have some audio of you from being on the jump around, and the audio I want to kick it to here is you talking specifically about how much these rivalry games mean, and when you come out on the wrong end of them, how much more they sting than, say, a loss to Maryland.
Else, there is something about those games that just matters more. And think about that as a fan. It's 100 times as a player. So when you lose those games and when you're reminded, particularly in college football, of an empty trophy case that you walk by 365 days a year, it just stings deeper. It just really does. And I can live with a Wisconsin program that gets 8 wins, 9 wins. I know we were all complaining about this, 5 years ago, but gets 8 or 9 wins, loses to the top 20 teams, but beats your, rivalry games out of 2 out of the 3. I can live with that. But how it is currently right now, it's hard to live with the idea of getting trounced by teams that you should be at a minimum competitive with and probably beating more often than not.
So, Brad, you're here with us now on October 11th? Yes, October 11th of 2025 on the stage. We're exactly an hour out from kickoff against Iowa. I want to go back to the Brad Nortman that was in the locker room an hour before kickoff against Iowa. Those conversations you'd be having right about now, how are those any different, if at all, than a game against a Maryland or an Oregon where there's not as much history behind it?
Well, you know one another. You really do. And it's not that you prepare different, not that you're more nervous. But you kind of do. I mean, honestly, you kind of do. There is something different about it. And if I'm a Wisconsin Badger and it's an hour out from kickoff against Maryland, I'm kind of loose. Maybe I'm looking at I'm chuckling with a guy. Always against Iowa, it's pretty quiet. It was pretty focused. It was pretty even in the training room, it's pretty quiet. Like there was an elevated sense of anticipation. There was an elevated sense of focus. And it's almost like, I say this a lot, I hate war analogies to football because they're just so different, and it's not even fair to compare football players to the great men and women that serve our country. But there's a steadiness of walking into battle. And then you feel like that against Iowa. You don't necessarily feel that against Maryland and Purdue. You just kind of feel like, let's go out there and just impose our will. But you just know you're going to get smacked. So you got to check your gut at the door And I remember those walks. I very vividly remember walking to the locker room, everyone puts their helmet on. Coach Bielema at the time would lead us out, take that long walk from the locker room all the way to Iowa, a little bit more butterflies in your stomach, a little bit more anticipation, and then play one. You're hitting.
Wow. Got goosebumps.
I love it.
So
I know.
Big matchup today, right? We want to remind you all to save money and save the planet. Ditch the energy bill and make the switch over to Everlight Solar, your local solar energy company based in Madison. Visit everlightsolar.com to learn more and make the switch today. Everlight Solar, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Look, Badgers-Iowa, it's a huge rivalry. It's not the only rivalry game going on today. There's one happening at American Family Field about an hour and 7 minutes after kickoff at Camp Randall for homecoming. When we come back, who are you more confident in winning tonight? And would you rather have win tonight? The Badgers or the Brewers? Maybe we'll just answer that first one. I feel like I know the answer to the second one. That is coming up next. This is ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay, the pregame show.
The countdown to kickoff continues next. You're listening to ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay.
Starion Bank redefines local banking in Madison. As a community bank with a commitment to Dane County, experience a banking relationship where your goals are our priority. Enjoy competitive deposit and loan rates and a partnership that thrives on local engagement and support. Starion Bank is more than a full-service financial institution. It's a community pillar dedicated to your prosperity. Visit one of our convenient branches in Middleton, Monona, or Sun Prairie. Starion Bank, offering banking, lending, mortgage, and cash management.
Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison is throwing the Halloween party of the year. Join the fun Friday, October 31st at our Halloween Bonanza costume contest. We're giving away $6,000 in cash prizes at our 9 p.m. drawing. But get creative because the better the costume, the bigger the prize. You'll also enjoy a DJ, a free photo booth, a treat bag with a free drink ticket, plus $10 in rewards play when you arrive wearing a costume. Bring your Halloween spirit to Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison.
Bikers need protection, not just from other drivers, but unfortunately from insurance companies too. If you've been injured in a motorcycle crash, call Gruber Law Offices today. Bikers are often blamed for causing the accident because the insurance companies simply don't want to pay. At Gruber Law Offices, we've been fighting for injured bikers and their families for more than 30 years. Trust us to fight for what you deserve. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Liberty Station American Tavern and Smokehouse isn't just a barbecue restaurant. Open daily for lunch and dinner, Liberty Station serves American comfort food with regional touches using many locally sourced ingredients. The bar at Liberty Station offers vintage cocktails created in a classic style, local craft beers, plus a wide array of wine options. And be sure to check out their sprawling patio with an indoor and outdoor porch area. Liberty Station, conveniently located just off the Beltline on Rimrock Road.
Electric bills are out of control, but with federal incentives, you can go solar with zero upfront cost and start saving hundreds a month. Badgerland Exteriors and Solar is a local and family-owned company, and they make the switch to solar simple. No pressure, no hassle, just honest.
AJ with Badgerland Exteriors here. Contracting made easy is more than a tagline. It's how we run our family business. Visit badgerlandexteriors.com to get started on your next project. That's badgerlandexteriors.com.
The Midwest's best baseball players have one thing in common: GRB Academy. For 15 years, GRB has been Wisconsin's leader in player development and advancement, producing over 468 college commits and 27 major league draft picks. Their Windsor facility has 52,000 square feet of elite baseball training space. Next up to bat is GRB's top prospect camp on Sunday, October 12th, open to the high school classes of 2026 through 2029. Claim your spot now at grbacademy.com.
'Tis the season to be planning your holiday events. Whether it's a party for 10 or 10,000, Celebrations has the sound, video, lighting, special effects, and custom-themed decor to make it the best party ever. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With us on your team, your Halloween, holiday, or New Year's party will be easy to plan and super fun to attend. DJs, casino games, lighting, and photo booths are just the beginning at celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
At Wisconsin Surplus Online Auction, you won't have to worry about your old lawnmower pulling a hamstring. They make buying and selling easy. Wisconsin Surplus Online Auction is simple, reliable, and unlike your fantasy team this football season, they'll actually deliver. Have equipment taking up space? Let them be your surplus solution. You send it in, they list it, people bid, and you actually win. Bid, buy, sell, and score big today at WisconsinSurplus.com. Because winning isn't just for game day. WisconsinSurplus.com.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app. Customizable just to you. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today.
This is the ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay pregame show for 2-3 Wisconsin and 3-2 Iowa. The Badgers looking to snap a 3-game skid and get back to 500 on the season. For more than 65 years, Gordon Flesh Company has been providing cutting-edge technology for companies of all sizes as the nation's largest Canon and Lexmark dealer. That's business technology managed. Visit gflesh.com to learn more. Corey Sparks, Brad Nortman, we've got Mertz talking with a great fan over there up from the Green Bay area listening to us. That always feels really good. Knowing we've got people out there who care and are passionate about the Badgers and about this show. But guys, there's also a lot of people who care and are very passionate about the NLDS, and the first ever postseason matchup between the Brewers and the Cubs ends tonight, no matter what. And I want to ask both of you because they're relatively close games. The Badgers coming in as slight underdogs, the Brewers coming in as slight favorites. In your heart of hearts, thinking up there too, at the end of tonight, who is more likely to come out with a W? The Wisconsin Badgers in homecoming against their rival Iowa, looking to snap a very ugly skid that dates back to the game against Alabama, or is it going to be the Brewers that are more likely to come out on top against their division rivals from Wrigley?
It's the Brewers. Yeah, the Brewers. If you would have posed the question, maybe we would, are the Cubs or the Brewers more likely to win tonight, or Wisconsin to win at all the rest of the season? Now I'm starting to wonder. Wow. Now I'm starting to be like, well,
let's go that way. What do you think of that?
Sad. I still think the Brewers, but
more than a win the rest of the season.
I think so.
Okay.
I think it's this week. Washington and Minnesota are the games where it's like, okay, you could probably go out and get those games.
Yeah.
I think Wisconsin's going to be a pretty legit underdog in both of them. I feel better about the Brewers tonight. If I had to put money down on the Brewers tonight, then the Badgers win one the rest of the way.
Really? Yeah. If you would have asked me in the moment during and after Game 4, I would not have been very high on the Brewers because I saw a team the other night that I hadn't seen all season.
Yeah, they looked dejected.
Just looked dead. Yeah. They looked dead in the water. There just wasn't a lot of juice the whole time, and the early lead for the Cubs just sank them. But with a couple days perspective and going back to AmFam, I feel like this is a crapshoot type game.
Yeah.
And I feel like the Badgers are fighting uphill.
Yeah.
Badgers are fighting uphill tonight. This is a game that they can and almost should win, in my mind, if they have any kind of direction or pride as a program at this point, and I just don't have the faith in it right now. Well, what's interesting to me was I just real quick, Brad.
You're good.
I was listening to an Iowa podcast today, and this is a game that they think they should win by a couple touchdowns.
Ooh,
like
that's disrespectful.
They think this isn't going to be a close game, and so I'm really curious to see what kind of product they put in the field, but I would not put my dollar on the Badgers over the Brewers tonight.
Well,
really.
Jim made a good point, right? The emphasis of last year's loss on this year's team and building this up game to be more than just Wisconsin-Iowa, more than just homecoming, but more of like a statement game.
Yeah.
If a statement can't be made, and if they lose, if they do lose by, I know the spread about 10 or more points, then you got Ohio State. Then you get Oregon. How many games in a row can you get your butt beat and be able to come to practice on Tuesday morning and take the field on Saturday with level of courage? So I think that opens the door to the Washington, Illinois, Indiana, Minnesota end of the season being a very deflated team. Very deflated because you're not going to win those other two games.
Yeah.
And you're probably not going to win, or you're going to lose by a lot, but most likely in the coming weeks. So you can lose it very quickly. And in this world of transfer portals, you get guys starting to look ahead. In the past,
Absolutely.
it'd be like, I'm stuck here. I'm starting to look toward the offseason.
Right.
How am I going to bulk up? How am I going to get better? Now it's like, well, I'm out of here in a month. And I can't get hurt.
Man.
I don't want to get hurt. I might as well start putting feelers out there.
I was going to say, all of a sudden, you know that a lot more injuries pop up during a long losing
Yeah,
streak.
that's right.
The calf gets a little tighter.
Yeah, you know.
Oh, my knee seems a lot of place.
I mean, I don't
sore back this morning.
I don't gather this as Billy Edwards' character whatsoever.
No.
Not at all. However, if I'm Billy Edwards, do I want to come back to this team? Or because he could have another year of eligibility potentially.
What's he coming back to?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and he seems like a very high character individual.
Yes.
So he's just the first one to come to mind. And then you can say that about the whole program, right? Because it's different. There's actual money on the line for these guys, and you're talking about different opportunities. If you want to go to the league or whatever else, this likely isn't the team or the way that you're going to have your best foot go forward.
And there's people in your ear these days.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people in your ear.
Yeah.
Well, Billy Edwards Jr. seems like a really high-character individual, but Brad, I want to ask you this. When he left Maryland 4-8 and went to Wisconsin 5-7 and pleading to everyone that they're streaking in the right direction, he felt like he was taking an upgrade, right?
He did.
Did he now? He definitely didn't now.
No, he didn't.
Maryland looks amazing compared to where they were, and Wisconsin is going in the wrong direction. So you bringing up the idea of him reconsidering in the final weeks, keep in mind, before the injuries, before anything, he came to Wisconsin thinking he upgraded.
Yeah.
That's the reason he came here. That's one of the main reasons you think he came here.
It's a great point.
I also wonder how much of the writing was on the wall in terms of Washington coming in at quarterback.
Yeah.
And Mike Loxley looking to go with a young gun in there
Also
rather
true.
than an older quarterback. It would at least been an open competition, I feel like.
It wouldn't have been his job.
It would not have been his guaranteed job. Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. But yeah, I mean, man, it's such a different dynamic these days, isn't it? When you think about these jumps that you make, and I know that's been talked a lot about the possibility of Bo Prabula coming to Wisconsin. He also had interest, and the Badgers locked in on Billy before they could have Bo in campus. And you look at what he's done at Missouri. Like, there's all this stuff out there. I'm not even comparing the two. It's just the availability factor at this point.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, no one can predict this stuff.
No, you really can't. And, you know, you could easily point to, well, the starting quarterback's been hurt 3 years in a row, which is true. And you point to the record of the quarterbacks of QB1 that does play, and they're like, 7-3 or whatever.
Yeah.
But the teams they beat are pretty bad teams, right? They're not quality opponents.
Yes.
And it just goes back to, like, this is why when your program is languishing, it's hard because you can't specify and you can't zero in on an issue. Is it recruiting? Is it development? Are we struggling as coaching? Like I can't answer that.
It could be all the above right now.
Is it all the above, right?
Yeah.
So it's like when you go and you're in your MAC or you're fickle and you're looking like, is it coaching? Is it development? I mean, we're not getting the right guys in here. And it feels like it's everything right now. So how do you go and solve this when you can't identify it, you can't single it, and you can't even prioritize it?
I know it. And you look at what they did coming out of last year. It almost reminds me of, like, remember when Randy Moss came on the scene and the Packers drafted 3 cornerbacks high up in the draft and going out and getting all these bigger defensive linemen. And they really have shored up the run defense. But then there's all these other caps. You had your entire secondary room leave on you, you know, and you're not able to get that offensive line where you need it. It just feels like you're the little Dutch boy trying to plug holes in the dike.
And there's too many, and you don't have enough dough.
That is correct.
So good.
ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day is presented to you by our friends at Coors Light. When you need to refresh on game day, choose a beer that's as cold as the Rockies. Cold filtered, cold lagered, and cold packaged for peak refreshment. When the mountains are blue, you know what to do, and that's crush a Coors Light. 2025 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. One of the holes that the Badgers could be trying to plug, you just brought it up, Brad, is the coaching on par right now. Are they making the right moves for the players in 2025 to succeed, to get better, to go out there and beat Iowa? When we come back from break, after we jump around a little bit here at the ESPN Wisconsin tailgate, presented to you by our friends at Coors Light, we'll hear from one of the best coaches there ever was, and that is Barry Alvarez. Best of Barry coming up next here on ESPN Wisconsin.
The countdown to kickoff continues next. You're listening to ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day.
Hi, it's Eric from Canopy Wealth Management. Our years of experience have prepared us to guide you through your life transitions. Our local professional team brings over 90 years of collective experience in the wealth management industry for the benefit of our clients. Canopy Wealth Management. Care, competence, clarity. It's not just a tagline, it's a promise. Go to canopy-wealth.com to get started on your financial future today. That's canopy-wealth.com.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Looking to join an international quality golf club right here in Madison? For a limited time at TPC Wisconsin, enjoy full golf privileges and all club amenities without full dues. Pay just $150 per month through March to maintain your full golf membership with no golf dues until April 1st. Don't miss out on this limited time offer. Schedule a tour or submit a membership inquiry at tpcwisconsin.com and start enjoying the private golf club experience you deserve. That's tpcwisconsin.com.
Have you been waiting to buy your next home? Stop. Now is the time to get housed. What's up, Madison? It's Stacy from Bruner Realty. Nobody has a crystal ball to know what the future holds. The longer you wait to find your next home, the better the chance you'll be paying more for it than you would be today. Don't miss out on what could be the best opportunity to find your dream home. Contact our team at BrunerRealtyInc.com to help start your search. That's BrunerRealtyInc.com. Let's get housed.
It takes a team to meet just about any goal, and that's as true on the football field as it is in the office. So it's good to know that you have the Gordon Flesch Company on your side. For more than 60 years, GFC has provided cutting-edge office technology for companies of all sizes, and as the nation's largest Canon dealer, GFC delivers the latest office technology, service, and is supported by the most experienced professionals in the industry. That's business technology managed. Visit gflesh.com to learn more.
Every team needs captains and playmakers, and Madison and Dane County Pizza Hut locations are looking for both. They're hiring managers to lead the crew and drivers to deliver big wins and pizzas. Find part-time or full-time roles with flexible hours, plus full benefits for those who work 30 or more hours per week. Whether it's running the huddle or making plays on the road, there's a spot at Pizza Hut for you. Apply today at jobs.pizzahut.com. That's jobs.pizzahut.com. Pizza Hut. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
Your seat at the table just got better. Step into the High Limit Room at Hard Rock Casino Rockford. This is true high-limit play. Premium table games tailored for discerning players. Better odds, faster play, and authentic action that sets Hard Rock Casino Rockford apart. Your next hand could be your best yet. Find your edge, play your rhythm, and raise the stakes in the High Limit Room at Hard Rock Casino Rockford. Let's hard rock. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text ILGAMB to 833-234.
If you're looking for a special piece of jewelry for any occasion, Condon Jewelers is always there for you. Condon Jewelers has the best selection of jewelry you'll ever find and guaranteed to have the lowest prices in the Madison area. Free shipping is always available. Visit CondonJeweler.com or call 241-3406 and ask for Jim, the owner, who's at the store every day. Shop locally. Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side.
Every event tells a story, from the first impression to the final moments. Have someone guide your guests through every chapter the way you want the story told. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With a strong presence, great voices, and an award-winning team, trust us to guide, direct, and inform your guests through all the different chapters of the day. For fun, memorable entertainment for any event, please visit us at celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
Start your career where the road to success is paved in coffee. At Dunkin' Donuts, we're now hiring crew members and hourly shift leaders at our locally owned locations. Dunkin' offers flexible schedules, employee discounts, health and dental benefits, and paid time off. Plus, bolster your resume with our own leadership training program and even scholarship opportunities. Up to $1,500 per semester. Text Team Spirit to 85000 or visit teamtmart.com/careers to apply. Dunkin', America runs on you.
Attention business owners and executives. Looking for a bank that's invested in your community as you are? Look no further than Starion Bank. As a Dane County community bank, Starion offers competitive deposit and loan rates while actively supporting local initiatives. Visit a business banker at one of our convenient branches in Middleton, Monona, and Sun Prairie. Starion Bank, full-service business banking, lending, and cash management.
When the leaves start to fall and your roof starts to call, fix it in the fall, fix it in the fall. If your shingle's looking rough and your gutter's full of stuff, get it fixed before it's froze, man. It's time to call the pro. We patch it, we match it, we stop that drip. Free estimates, quick fix, don't let your roof slip. Your home's your castle, we keep it tight. Call Avondale Roofing, they roof it right. Fall deals dropping it like it's hot. Call Avondale Roofing at 855-819-7663.
Hey Madison, it's Rich Eisen. Join me for the Rich Eisen Show, weekdays noon to 2, right here on 100.5 ESPN, WTLX, Monona, Madison, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
Madison, Wisconsin is as good as it gets.
It's all about the Badgers.
Go Badgers! Go
Games like this is what really separates college football from everything else.
That was J.J. Watt, and what a story this young man is. Gordon again! What a performance by Melvin Gordon! And the pass rush gets home for the Badgers. Camp Randall lets it roar.
This is ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay, brewed by Coors Light on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
37 minutes until Wisconsin and Iowa kick off in their 99th ever meeting. This is the ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay show, brewed by Coors Light. We are coming to you from the Starion Bank broadcast booth. Experience a banking relationship where your goals are their priority. As a community bank with a commitment to Dane County's, Starion Bank redefines local banking in the Madison area. Visit one of their convenient branches in Middleton, Sun Prairie, or Monona today, or online at starionbank.com. Corey Sparks, Adam Mertz, and Brad Nortman here with you. The tailgate's lively. We just threw out some T-shirts here for Jump Around. My man in the back in the Brewers hat made an Odell Beckham Jr.-like catch. I always feel bad, right, when you're at a game and they can't get the shirts way back to the further back row. I unleashed one, boys. We went probably like 15, 20 yards, and he Odell'd it. Full over his right ear, hauled it in, so good catch. Might be on the scouting report for next time.
So good.
That's pretty good stuff. It's fun here, guys. And
vibes are high.
Yeah, and I think they're ready. We're at the point where we know this is a huge game. This is a tipping point. If they don't get this one, I mean, if the panic button was already not pushed, if you were looking at it near the drawer, you close the drawer, go, maybe we'll save that for later. No, you're whipping it open and you're slamming it if you lose to Iowa here, because you're 2-4 and you've got the gauntlet coming up. Already went up against, at the time, number 24 Michigan. You've got plenty of opponents. Ohio State, one of them. Oregon, one of them, who our producer Riley Yauk just told us tied the game on a pick-6 against Indiana. So that game is looking real interesting right now. But every week, the Barry Alvarez Show airs on ESPN Madison, the ESPN Madison YouTube channel. We've got a couple of clips here to play. In the Best of Barry, we'll start with Fickell's timeout usage in the waning moments of the 24-10 loss against Michigan just last week.
Joel Klatt has to have something to say. And so, he chose to decide that they should stop the game, slow the game down now, rather than see if you can stop them, get the ball, and have your timeouts as you're moving the ball. And that's a coach's discretion. So I have no qualms of them saving those timeouts. What you wanted to do was stop Michigan's drive.
So what's your guys' thought on that? Because I was working through this with Riley on the postgame show last week, and he said, hey, just for pure optics, you're trying to win the fan base over here if you're Fickell. You take the time out and try and give yourself a shot at the ball back. I made the comparison to the Raiders-Chargers game where both teams could have tied a couple years ago to get into the playoffs, and Staley burned his timeout. All of a sudden the Raiders and Bisaccia at the time go, fine, dude. We'll just go down the field and win. My worry was that Coach Moore, if he sees Fickell go like this for the second time and take the timeout, he just punches it in. They were at the 5-yard line, and now your optics get thrown out the window. It's 31-10, and the box score watchers are even more angry.
Yeah, I don't have as big of an issue with this as I think most do. However, it just felt like another ding against Coach Fickell of saying, what are we doing? It doesn't feel like we are operating with a sense of urgency. It doesn't feel like we're operating to win the game. And let's be honest, I mean, they probably weren't going to go ahead and win the game anyway. It's not like it was a 3-point game and it was really at a razor's edge. We're talking about, perfect word, Corey, optics. We're talking about what does it look like we're trying to do. So, like, I didn't lose any sleep over it, but when I saw it, it just felt like it was more evidence of a team and a program that either one, didn't really have everything figured out, didn't really know what they were doing, or just was kind of resigning to ending the game and just letting that happen quickly. So X's and O's, look, I'm not a coach, and like in those moments I know, like, and I'm going to trust Barry over some of those in-game decisions more than I would trust mine. All I know is from how it looked, it just looked bad. It looked like you lacked a sense of urgency. It lacked like you were trying to actually do something to lengthen the game and actually make more of an impact and at least make it closer.
Yeah. If you're looking at like the win analytics on ESPN, the timeouts is probably like a 0.05 influence at that point, down 2 scores in that late in the game. But I agree where there's a lot of these decisions that are made that are just fundamental to how you want to approach and build a program. And just a knowledge and an awareness of the situation. I go back to a couple of years ago, and this is an entirely different subject, but it's like these things that just make you go, huh? As they said in the 90s. Yeah. Make you go, when you go into this Iowa game here, and you know that it's going to be a low-scoring game, you drive the field on the first series, and you're facing 4th and 1, and you don't take the points.
Yeah.
And you're like, has he watched these games before?
Yeah.
Does he have an understanding of what's going on in this dynamic and what's on that field today? And there's been enough of those moments that I think it was just another one of those where you're kind of like, interesting.
Well, and it really is reflective of fan sentiment, right? And I know that Joel Klatt asked to talk about something, but what in the past where we would have given a benefit of the doubt, we're no longer doing that.
Nope.
And early on, this would have been Pickles' first year.
Yeah.
You could have maybe convinced yourself out of it. That's not a big deal, or he could have made an argument. But there's been so many things stacked which make you scratch your head. I mean, I can think about all those times when, even in the first season of Coach Fickell, when it was 4th and 1, we're doing shotgun, right? I mean, there's just been so many moments of like, what are we doing? And now I feel like fans are seeking out those as opposed to seeking out positives. And that says everything I need to know about where the fan base feels about this program and their coach.
Yeah. Can I say, too, that this is not just a Wisconsin situation? You look at, like, 2 weeks after the Fire Fickell chants, there's Fire Franklin chants at Penn State.
Yeah.
People are on edge. They're, like, looking for reasons to be upset about their teams at this point.
Grass
I don't
isn't
know what
always
it is.
greener. Yeah.
It's just there's not a lot of patience or acceptance of everyone needs to have their voice heard on every topic.
Yeah.
It seems like.
It's a strange time in college football. You would think that you'd look at it and almost like with Penn State, and you'd appreciate how hard NIL can be, and you think that the opportunity is wide open. We just got to get in the playoffs, right?
Yes.
So you think that individual losses would mean less, but it just goes to show programs have expectations. When those expectations aren't getting met, you start to get the pitchforks, and it looks different for Penn State versus Wisconsin versus UCLA, for instance. But the moment that fans are nitpicking, seeking to nitpick, it feels like all trust has been lost.
The fans here seem to be enjoying the wonderful food from Liberty Station. Our friends at Liberty Station are running a game day shuttle program during home games. This football season, this is really cool, guys. For just $20, you can get a Coors Light and a round-trip ride to Camp Randall. It all starts at Liberty Station American Tavern and Smokehouse, located off the Beltline on Rimrock Road. All right, our second from the best of Barry is Coach Barry Alvarez talking about how Pat Murphy coaches like a football coach.
People ask me about Murph. I say Murph coaches baseball like he would like football coaches coach. He easily transitioned right into be a football coach. I can't say that to all baseball coaches or all baseball coaches.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, he can get after guys. He's a pit bull. And he's going to call spade a spade. He's going to get after his guys when they need to. He's going to pat them on the back. But I think he's much more aggressive than most baseball coaches, my opinion.
So, Brad, you played football at a very high level, right? Made it all the way to the Super Bowl with the Panthers. You were on the Jaguars. You were under Bielema's tenure here in Wisconsin. Do you see the same grit and grime and style from Pat Murphy that you saw from some guys who were calling the plays ahead of you?
I do, absolutely. Yeah. Coach Alvarez said it really well, and I'll tell you what, Craig Counsell ain't coaching football teams, I'll tell you that much. So Pat Murphy, he is the guy that it feels like earlier on KBN, I won't go as much in detail, but I made the comparison that it feels like Craig Counsell's a lot like Matt LaFleur, and Pat Murphy's a lot like Barry Alvarez, and I tried to delineate what that would mean for the Brewers Cup series. But listen, Coach Alvarez is as tough as they come. So if he sees someone that's like, that dude is tough, that guy can coach, then that means a whole lot of something. It's one of the reasons I think that Wisconsin gravitates toward Pat Murphy, because I think that it reflects not only, Wisconsin's grittiness and whatnot, but a lot of teams that we've had in the past have been successful, whether it be Bucks or Brewers or Badgers or Packers. A tough coach is usually a part of it. So, honestly, it gets me excited for the game tonight. It gets me excited for the Brewer game. But
this is like one of the cool things about sports when I was listening to the Barry Alvarez show this week, and you're like, oh my gosh, that's right. They were at Notre Dame at the same time. These intersections, crossovers that you wouldn't even think about because it's just not in your wheelhouse. You know these people in the context of their current roles, and you forget about the shared histories sometimes. There's a classic Barry story. Talking about hard nose and really not giving a lot of sympathy. And I think about like this year when they're talking about benching players and stuff, and Murphy's like, yeah, he stinks right now. Barry had this session. This is from my roommates who were walk-ons here. And he was like talking to the guys as freshmen. They're like, man, life's tough, isn't it? Like you're here, you're in a new environment. And, you miss your family. You got all this going on. He's like, guess what? Nobody cares. Nobody cares.
Throw the emotion out the window.
Oh, my gosh. There was a line that reminded me of a line of from Pat Murphy from this week talking about Jackson Churio. Yeah. Again, this is in a Brewer pregame show. I feel like the Badgers could use a little bit of this from Pat Murphy. He said basically, I care less about your feelings, I care more about your behavior. And I was like, that should be a proverb, man. That's unbelievable. That's so good. And honestly, you could say the same thing about this team. Oh, woe is us. Yes. Woe is the Wisconsin Badgers. Yes. Oh, we lose to Maryland. Oh, it's a close game to Michigan. Nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
Like, man up. This is a game. Most of these guys are getting paid. Man up. Take the field. I want to see your behavior change. I care less about your feelings. I care more about your behavior. I was like, whoa, that can be translated to a lot of things.
Incredible.
It's a results-driven business. And it's a results-driven business, and the result of today might somewhat, I don't want to say it's heavily reliant on the quarterback situation, but we do have an update. The injury report today is brought to you by Orthopedic and Spine Centers of Wisconsin. Their Saturday Sports Injury Clinic has you covered. Skip the emergency room circus and get expert care from the pros who know sports injuries. Walk in any Saturday from 9 to 11:30 a.m. at their location off the Beltline and get back into the game. I'm going to revert to Riley Yauk on this because he was just telling me a few minutes ago, Mark Gronowski looks like he'll be good to go, but he's got a supportive knee brace on?
Yes, that is correct. I was scouring the Twitterverse, you could say, and several Iowa beat reporters reporting and showing video of Mark Gronowski warming up on the field. He has a big knee brace. It is a full brace. It extends almost his entire leg, but the mobility seemed to be there. He looked okay while stretching, and they expect him to be good to go today.
All right, well, there we go. Looks like Mark Gronowski will be going. Don't know if you want him out there golfing, but if he were to be out there golfing, you're going to want to send him over to TPC Wisconsin, where you can enjoy full golf privileges and all club amenities without full dues. Pay just $150 per month through the month of March with no golf dues until April 1st. Submit a membership inquiry at tpcwisconsin.com and start enjoying the private golf club experience you deserve today. When we come back, we look around college football at our Pepsi picks. This is ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay on ESPN Wisconsin.
The countdown to kickoff continues next. You're listening to ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay.
You're only minutes away from a better buying experience at Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb. Jim Rutledge here. What is a better buying experience? Well, that's the thing. You get to define it. It is the experience that is customized to you. What experience do you want at a car dealership? They can be your trusted friend or your trusted expert. So if you're in the market for a new or new-to-you Silverado, Colorado, Blazer, Trailblazer, remember, you're only minutes away from a better buying experience. And that's at Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb.
It's a bird bash at Potawatomi. Thursdays, you could win up to $50,000 cash in the Bird Bash Game Show. Just play with your rewards card this October for a chance to win. Wouldn't you like to rake in a huge pile of cash? Bird Bash, only at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. More info at potawatomi.com/birdbash. Must be 21 years old to play.
Played like a pro but felt like an amateur? Twisted your ankle or jammed a finger under the Friday night lights? At Orthopedic and Spine Centers of Wisconsin, their Saturday Sports Injury Clinic has you covered. Skip the emergency room circus, dodge the waiting room sitcom, and get expert care from the pros who actually know sports injuries. Saturdays, 9 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Walk into their location off the Beltline and get back in the game. Orthopedic and Spine Centers of Wisconsin, your comeback starts here.
When it comes to your career, most companies want you to be interested in them. At Northwestern Mutual, their mutual interest is you. That's why they listen to your career goals, plan the steps to get there, and work side by side all along the way. To learn more about career opportunities, search for Northwestern Mutual Southern Wisconsin online or call 608-836-3080. That's 608-836-3080. The Northwestern Mutual Life Insurance Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Want to join the fastest growing home solar company in the nation and work in the fastest growing industry in the world? Everlight Solar has open positions in the Madison area and in their newly opened Milwaukee location. As Wisconsin's largest home solar company, Everlight Solar offers great opportunities to gain new skills and advance your career. Don't miss the chance to join the Everlight Solar team. Visit everlightsolar.com to apply today. Save money, save the planet, and start with Everlight Solar.
Don't be haunted by high prices this Halloween. Metro Ford of Madison has frightfully good deals waiting just for you. Right now, drive home the all-new 2025 Ford F-150 or F-150 STX, or escape the ordinary in a 2025 Ford Escape, both with just 2.9% APR for up to 66 months, only $16.41 per month for $1,000 finance. But hurry, these scary good offers vanish November 3rd. Visit metrofordofmadison.com today, where the deals are a treat, never a trick.
Madison's financial challenges need a Dane County-based bank. Starion Bank is a full-service community bank that delivers quality big bank services with a local approach. We are proud to be there for any budding entrepreneur or small businesses, helping them exceed their financial goals from banking to lending to cash management. Visit a banker at one of our convenient branches in Middleton, Monona, or Sun Prairie. Starion Bank, taking you farther.
Looking to join an international quality golf club right here in Madison? For a limited time at TPC Wisconsin, enjoy full golf privileges and all club amenities without full dues. Pay just $150 per month through March to maintain your full golf membership with no golf dues until April 1st. Don't miss out on this limited time offer. Schedule a tour or submit a membership inquiry at tpcwisconsin.com and start enjoying the private golf club experience you deserve. That's tpcwisconsin.com.
Start your career where the road to success is paved in coffee. At Dunkin' Donuts, we're now hiring crew members and hourly shift leaders at our locally owned locations. Dunkin' offers flexible schedules, employee discounts, health and dental benefits, and paid time off. Plus, bolster your resume with our own leadership training program and even scholarship opportunities. Up to $1,500 per semester. Text Team Spirit to 85000 or visit teamtmart.com/careers to apply. Dunkin', America runs on you.
When it comes to your career, most companies want you to be interested in them. At Northwestern Mutual, their mutual interest is you. That's why they listen to your career goals, plan the steps to get there, and work side by side all along the way. To learn more about career opportunities, search for Northwestern Mutual Southern Wisconsin online or call 608-836-3080. That's 608-836-3080. The Northwestern Mutual Life Insurance Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
I was really anxious about college and felt overwhelmed at choosing one. But I'm so glad I didn't let that stop me. One tour of Madison College campus was all it took. The campus environment is amazing, so welcoming and friendly, and everyone is really supportive. My advice? See this campus for yourself. There's more to your story at Madison College.
Visit madisoncollege.edu to get started.
The Midwest's best baseball players have one thing in common: GRB Academy. For 15 years, GRB has been Wisconsin's leader in player development and advancement, producing over 468 college commits and 27 major league draft picks. Their Windsor facility has 52,000 square feet of elite baseball training space. Next up to bat is GRB's Top Prospect Camp on Sunday, October 12th, open to the high school classes of 2026 through 2029. Claim your spot now at grbacademy.com.
Wisconsin sports fans, Brian Balaga here from my friends at Surfside. Football season is back, and we're bringing you your tailgate must-have. There's nothing more refreshing than an ice-cold Surfside to enjoy while you cheer on your home team. Made with real vodka and real brewed tea, Surfside is only 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar, and 0 bubbles. That's right, no carbonation, so it's easy to sip and enjoy. It's not a seltzer, it's Surfside. Ask for it at bars, restaurants, and stores near you. Must be 21. Please drink responsibly.
Hey, it's Evan Cohen. Coming up Monday, Damian Woody joins us in studio at 7:30 a.m. Eastern to react to Week 6 in the NFL and look ahead to a huge Monday Night Football doubleheader. It's on Sportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
And it's just like the ocean under the moon. It's the same as the emotion that I get from you.
Getting you ready for Wisconsin and Iowa, kicking off in just about 20 minutes here. This is the ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay pregame show brewed by Coors Light. If you are looking for a reliable roofing and home restoration company in Wisconsin, Badgerland Exteriors is here to help you. Residential and commercial roofing, siding, and solar. Badgerland Exteriors has you covered. Visit badgerlandexteriors.com to get started today on your next project. It's now time for our Pepsi Picks. Enjoy Pepsi, a proud partner of the Wisconsin Badgers. Get game day ready with Pepsi, the taste that scores every single time. Try Pepsi Zero Sugar, the perfect drink for your tailgate party, and a tasty mixer on Wisconsin. All right, time for those Pepsi Picks, Riley.
All right, yes it is, Corey, as let's waste no further time. Unfortunately, having the nightcap kind of hamstrings us a little bit, so none of the marquee matchups today as Indiana leads Oregon 27-20 with 6 minutes left in quarter number 4. But before we can get to the picks, let's take a look at our leaderboard. Mertz still in the front of the pack with 16 points. Jesse Nelson in second with 14. I have 12. Brad also listed as having 12 points. According to the official scoring, he should have 9. However, I realized after Mertz sent his picks last week and Jesse sent his picks this week that I just completely forgot to send Brad any of the games for any week,
honest.
And just didn't give him any shot to gain points. So I felt it was only fair to put him asterisk at the bottom with me, so to give him at least level him up to where I'm at, so we're at 12 and he has at least a somewhat fair shake the rest of the season. So that's our leaderboard.
Well, Riley, I was going to flip over this table in revolution for how I was disparaged, disregarded, and forgotten in these polls when I saw that, oh my goodness, they've been keep on doing this, and they forgot to include me. I'm trying to keep my son alive, and you're just burying me at the bottom of the standings. However, I will take this as apology accepted, and I will gladly take my spot at the bottom of the leaderboard, but within fighting chance of all of you. Thank you, Mr. Producer Riley Yauch.
Of course, hand up accountability hour. That's on me. That's on me.
It's all good.
So is that a 1 week asterisk or a permanent asterisk? That's what I want to know.
Does that hang around if he wins the whole thing?
Yeah. I don't need in the record books an asterisk.
No, I trust
Is it a Mickey
Brad
Mouse
enough.
championship?
Brad was dominating the first couple of weeks, so I think depending on how the picks go this week, we can remove that asterisk next week. So, first game of the day, Michigan taking on USC. The Badgers gave them a fight last week. How do you think the Trojans do against 15th ranked Wolverines?
And we're doing against the spread, correct? I know it's been a minute since I've done this.
Yeah, it is just straight up pick.
Straight up pick. Straight up.
Yeah.
Okay. Give me Michigan. I like Michigan. I think they're a physical team. All these years that USC has been in the Big Ten, they haven't proven to me that they can consistently run with the big dogs of the Big Ten. And I wouldn't even consider Michigan the big dogs of the Big Ten. So I wasn't overly impressed with Michigan last week, but I'm even less impressed with USC.
And I'm going to run counter to Brad here. I actually think that USC has a fighting shot in this game. Michigan, I watched that game at Oklahoma. They have a decent road presence, not a great road presence. It's going to be a sellout crowd at the Coliseum tonight. There's actual interest in the program for the first time since Lincoln Riley showed up. And so I'm going with the Trojans.
I'm with you, Mertzy. USC's got one of the best high-flying offenses in college football. I'm a big Jaden Mayava guy.
Yeah.
He's thrown multiple passing touchdowns in all but one game to this point. And that Michigan run game, they're tough. We saw them last week. But USC is only allowing 3.5 yards of carry on defense. So give me the Trojans.
I understand where you're coming from, Mertzy and Corey. But I think USC is going to be coming out hot after losing. They had that game won against Michigan last year. Couldn't finish it off, but I just don't think they can hang. Michigan heads to the Coliseum and gets the dub. Moving to the SEC, Georgia, number 10 ranked Georgia, facing Auburn, the Tigers. They have to go to Jordan-Hare, but the Dogs, 3.5 favorites in this one. Who you got?
This is one of the best rivalries in the South in terms of longevity. They think of this as like the Minnesota-Wisconsin down there, and a lot of interesting connections between those two schools. Vince Dooley was the legendary Georgia coach, played at Auburn. Pat Dye was a Georgia player, coached at Auburn. So it's
connections.
It's a lot of connections, a lot of back and forth. One more for you. Gunnar Stockton's grandpa once got arrested after a game at Auburn when they turned the water hoses on the Georgia fans who were celebrating on the field in 1986. So Gunner's got a little family legacy here to play for. I do think this is a huge trap game for Georgia. I'm going with the Dogs, but I think it's going to be pretty tight.
Yeah, first of all, Gunnar Stockton, such an SEC quarterback name. I mean, such an SEC quarterback name. How about this for a little insight into the Nortman household? It took us a while to name our son. One of the girl names, we loved our girl names. One of the girl names we loved was Georgia. Almost. Or if it was a girl, nice. Georgia was in the top two. However, regardless of that, I think Georgia's the better team. Auburn is no joke. I mean, they are a feisty team. They've been in every game this year. But I do think Georgia has too much going for them, too much talent, and there is a bit of a rivalry. I would just be so shocked if Georgia goes into Auburn and is flat enough to lose.
I know a lot of Bulldogs fans aren't very happy that they lost to Alabama a couple of weeks ago. I think the Kentucky game was a good get-right game for them. They played really well, beat Tennessee not too long ago. I think Gunnar Stockton, great SEC quarterback name, I agree. I think they take it today.
Yeah.
Gunnar Stockton, by the way, dating Vince Dooley's granddaughter.
No.
Wow. And he
really?
And he played at the high school where Kirby Smart's dad coached. Not at the same time, but it's like...
That's a web of
insanity. You couldn't set this up
teams are tied at the hip.
No.
Yes.
So many connections. I'd love to pick Auburn, try and gain some points, but I just don't think that's going to happen. Georgia finishes it off down at Jordan-Hare. Now, last but certainly not, actually, yeah, it is least too. Minnesota hosting Purdue.
I figured that was coming.
It's gross. It sucks, but that's really the only interesting game left to choose. So who you got, the Gophers or the Boilers?
I'll kick us off here. Barry Odom, I think, is changing the culture over at Purdue. Slowly but surely. They kept up with Notre Dame. They actually made it a decent game against Illinois. I think he gets his first Big Ten win today.
Ooh. Wow, that's a gutsy call.
Yeah. It's like, what, the touchdown underdogs?
Yeah.
Minnesota hasn't impressed me yet.
No, and that's I'm actually surprised. I thought that Minnesota would be taking another step this year, and they've kind of just almost fallen off a little bit to the point where you start hearing about, is PJ looking around for new opportunities at this point. I'm going to go with the Gophers, but I would, as always, I would love to see whoever's playing the Gophers win.
Yeah, if this was at Purdue,
Yes.
I think I would take Purdue. I think it's going to be that close. Yeah. If it was against the spread, I would take Purdue. But straight up, I'm going to take Minnesota. I just still think that Purdue, still languishing in the basement of the Big Ten. Maybe you're right, though, Corey. Maybe it's finally the time that they can take a step forward. But I think Minnesota, quality enough to get a night win at home.
Do you want to ask where Wisconsin is compared to Purdue in the Big Ten power rankings at this point?
I think you're fighting with Purdue and Northwestern for number 17.
Yeah. UCLA's on the up and up now.
They are.
Yeah.
You can't possibly put them in there.
No.
I think they have more quality wins than Wisconsin.
They have two
about
more
like Purdue
quality
and Northwestern. At least the MAC teams they played, they beat handily.
Yes,
not
they
17-0 against Miami of Ohio.
All right. Fantastic. I love your take, Corey. I think Purdue gets it done on the road. I like what I saw against Notre Dame, and I hate PJ Fleck in Minnesota. So, boiler up. That's it for our Pepsi picks.
Figured that would help. Riley not really liking the fighting PJ Flex over there. Folks, Metro Ford of Madison is Madison's trusted Ford dealer. Whether you need to purchase, finance, or service a new or pre-owned Ford, Metro Ford is the place to go. Visit Metro Ford of Madison on the east side today, or go to their website, metrofordofmadison.com, to see this month's specials and browse their inventory. Folks, we got about a minute left. Brad, Mertzy, last final thoughts going into this Iowa game. We want to do a key to victory, maybe even a player to watch for Wisconsin if they're going to pull off the upset.
Yeah, it's a great way to take a season that otherwise feels like all is lost and flip it around a little bit. I don't think this team becomes bowl eligible. I don't think they pull off a major upset, but this would be something that you can build off of. This can be a notch in Luke Fickell's belt, and if you want to point to any level of improvement, any level of get right, any level of respect to be put on our name, this is the time to do it, because I think they're going to struggle at any other time to do this. And again, this was the biggest blemish of last season. So if Coach Fickell wants to say, listen, it might not be super bright, but here's a silver lining, this would be it. And let's be honest, too. I mean, this team is not a world beater in Iowa. So it's there for you, but you got to be crisp, you got to be clean, you got to win the turnover battle, you got to be disciplined. And like I said before, you beat physicality by matching their physicality. Surprise them in how hard you hit. Surprise them in your ability to take on and receive blows. That's the only way I see this team winning. Not getting cute, not trying to do something that you're not. Let's establish a little bit of identity, if that's even possible at this point, and this is the time to do it. Homecoming, Iowa, empty trophy case. There's no time like the present.
I like it.
Brad said it well. First time since '97 that the Badgers have not been favored at home against Iowa.
Wow. Mertzy's got all the nuggets today. And so do you, Corey.
Appreciate it.
Everything that you said is true. But here's what I'm at. This could be a foundational win for Luke Fickell to build from for the rest of the year. This is almost a bowl game at this point. I think that wins that come in November, all they do is improve the record. You have lost the audience if you don't win today.
There's a lot of fans out there that would trade 2 rivalry wins for, at this point, just about anything else. This would bring a lot of morale up for this Wisconsin team. Guys, win, lose, or tie, before we go, I am going to Pizza Hut after this game. They deliver a win every single time with a big dinner box. Just $19.29. That's 2 medium, 1 topping pizzas, 8 boneless wings, and 5 breadsticks. Feed the whole team for one unbeatable price. Find the nearest location or order online at pizzahut.com. Feed good times only from the Hut. Nobody out pizzas the Hut, wherever you go. Wisconsin and Iowa kicking off in just a few minutes. Obviously, Brewers and Cubs shortly after. It is a great night for sports, for playoffs, for rivalry games, for homecoming. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. Enjoy the football games. Enjoy the playoff baseball. This is ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay, brewed by Coors Light.
Don't be haunted by high prices this Halloween. Metro Ford of Madison has frightfully good deals waiting just for you. Right now, drive home the all-new 2025 Ford F-150 or F-150 STX, or escape the ordinary in a 2025 Ford Escape, both with just 2.9% APR for up to 66 months, only $16.41 per month per $1,000 finance. But hurry, these scary good offers vanish November 3rd. Visit metrofordofmadison.com today, where the deals are a treat, never a trick.
You hear that? That's the sound of Pepsi Zero Sugar, the better tasting, more refreshing Zero Sugar Cola. Listen to that endless pour. Pure refreshment. If it sounds this good, just imagine how it tastes. Oh yeah, so good. Pepsi Zero Sugar. Let your taste decide.
At Grunberg Offices, we take great